Good, yeah.
Good. Congratulations on your graduation.
Thank you.
How did you find the day?
A little bit stressful, but then it was really fun. I think trying to figure out where to go and get little bits and pieces and get organised was a bit stressful, especially because it was so hot and the gowns are quite thick to put on. But no, it was great. It was great. Once you got going, yeah, it was a nice little celebration.
So tell me a little bit about your experiences on your course. What would you say you enjoyed most about your final year at uni?
Well, one of the good things was that we actually got to be at university. I was worried in the second year that we wouldn't be back. So that was really good that we were at least able to sit down together. And then, while you were getting on with your own things, you also had those lessons where you all came together and discussed with each other and had that feedback each week to talk through with other people and compare, because obviously everyone's doing something so different, but we're all experiencing the same kind of stress and deadlines. So it's really nice to be able to come together and then bounce off of each other a little bit, or you'll help someone, you'll be like, oh yeah, I found this and found that, I saw this, thought of you. So that was really nice to have. Where it's such a small class as well that we had, it was a lot closer, so we all knew exactly what everyone else was doing and we could help each other a lot more. And then even just being able to have that support from the teachers as well, Rachel would pop into a lot of our lessons that we had with Zoe and vice versa, so we'd be able to have two teachers' inputs, and that was great, having all of the feedback. You didn't feel alone at all. There was always someone that you could.
And I suppose being at home and being unable to come in to campus, did you just feel that you were kind of just doing you and not really having that involvement from others? I guess it's quite a different experience.
Yeah, so in the second year, that was very much we didn't come in at all. But then in that final year, we did get to come into lessons. They have a good load of lessons available, and for the first semester, you do spend a lot of time in lesson, bouncing ideas off of each other and doing a bit more learning. And then in the final semester, all those lessons essentially turn into more feedback sessions, so people can, if they don't need a feedback session, their own thing at home.
So did the lecturers, offer you lots of advice? Did you listen to the advice? Like, how did that work?
So, I mean, I personally, I did really listen to what they were saying. So I paid quite close attention to that and made sure to make notes. Then when I was going through my work and made sure that I'd met those requirements and added those bits in, they are quite important to remember. But it is very easy to get carried away with your project and forget the actual marking of things, I think. So it's good to make a note or keep checking in and asking, I think.
Just to keep yourself grounded before you get carried away. Delusions of grandeur.
That's why it's good as well. Go to those sessions as well, so you won't forget.
So tell me about your FMP, what did you decide to do? How did it work? Yeah. Were you happy with how it all came together?
So my FMP that I chose to do was, I got an idea essentially from a podcast that I listened to. It was the Business of Fashion podcast, with Kathy Horn, and they were talking about the future of fashion. Because what they try and get you to do for FMP is think of future ideas or problems in the market and things like that. And they were discussing all about how they thought the future of fashion was going to be quite loud and expressive. And I immediately thought of like it's kind of a gap in the market kind of issue where I was like, okay, so what about introverts? Because you've got lots of expressive movements that they were talking about, and some that can be quite sensitive topics. And you're going to get quite a few people who are quite insecure about being loud and open like that. So I then decided to create my own underwear and nightwear brand about this. So it's for introverts, so they can wear, loud prints, expressive prints, but it'll be underneath their clothes, or obviously when they're at home just by themselves, they can still be expressive on a day-to-day without having to be really extrovert about it. And it's like me as well, because I'm quite introverted myself, so it all linked up that way. And so for that, I decided to do 100 different print designs for a collection, and they were all based off of different world movements or issues. So I had some that were more subtle, more that, introverts wouldn't necessarily be worried about expressing, but you still get certain settings. Like if you're at work, maybe you're not going to want to wear a t-shirt, like with an elephant on for animal abuse. Maybe you'd still want to be quite subtle and you wouldn't want to stand out still. So I did animal abuse. I did endangered species. I did the Me Too movement. That was one that's obviously quite a lot more serious, a lot more, people don't talk about it as much. So that was quite important. And a lot of those prints were quite subtle. So there were little hints, and then there were some that were very more loud. So I tried to have a mix as well with that. And I also
100 prints though. I mean,
yes.
Where did you get that figure from? Was that required, or did you just think, well, 100 would be impressive? I mean, that's a lot of work, isn't it?
That is actually, most people did that. That is the mark that they sort of get you to aim for if you're doing print design. And so in the second year, we did a project that was to do 100 print designs for Levi's. So that's where a lot of people got it from. It was then like, you've already done that. This is what we expect from you now.
Yeah,
so you couldn't get away with doing any less. I mean, otherwise, if you were going to do less, you were expected to then do more for something else. I already did quite a lot with my project, because for that FMP in total, I did 100 print designs. I did a little magazine. I did a website with the social media posts and things like that. I did some photo shoots that went in the magazine. I did a brand Bible, and I did a lookbook. So that was like my whole package with all of that. And then you've got your research book on top of that. I think there were people that didn't do as much as that, but it does depend on your project and what you're doing and what works and what's expected, because you have to try and make it as realistic to the industry as possible. So you really pushing yourself. There's a lot that goes into it. I mean, because there was so much, you have to work so long, and I think I did a lot of all-nighters for mine personally. When I finished, when I finally handed it in, I was disappointed in myself. And it sounds really stupid, and looking back, I know that it doesn't make any sense, because I've done really well. I've got everything done that I needed to get done. I think it was just at the end, I had such a high expectation for myself, and the exact vision of what I wanted it to be, that there were just those tiny little bits and pieces that I didn't get to finish off. I was like, that's ruined everything. And there's so many emotions going through me that it all kind of, I was a bit defeated and upset. But then once I had like the week to sort of calm down, it started getting better, and I could properly reflect on all my work. Because I had most of it made physically. I could also look back and flick through and see for myself, which was quite nice, and sort of sharing it with
you have to look back at the big picture, don't you? And
yeah, exactly.
Acknowledge that those tiny points that they only ever existed in your mind. Yeah. And therefore what you did create was amazing. But
yeah, that's the thing. When as well other people will see it and they'll be like, I don't know what you're talking about, like it looks great to me. And I guess because where you have a certain idea in your head, you forget that other people don't see that. And
yeah, exactly.
You've just got to look at it for what it is right in front of you and be happy with that, and be happy that you've come that far. And at the end of the day, I finished everything. I got it all done. So yeah, no, looking back now, I'm very, very happy. I'm very pleased with what I've made. It's just a very stressful time, I think.
I think when you're creative, though, you're always pushing yourself, aren't you? And you're always, to visualize something and then see it realized, is like you set that level of expectation up for yourself somehow, don't you?
Yeah.
But anyway, I mean, you did amazingly, and I think as time goes on and you'll look back at it, you'll probably go, what was I talking about? Like, it's still sort of fresh. So what would you say, I mean, what was your biggest challenge, do you reckon?
I did a lot of things that I hadn't done before. I decided to do things that I'd avoided in past years, because you have different projects obviously and you can still slightly choose things. So obviously one thing I hadn't done before was a website. So I had to make an entire website from scratch that was like fully functioning with all of my different products. I think on the end I must have had like over 300 different products that I had on this website that you could click on and then go through properly. And I obviously didn't realize how long it would take me. But I ended up really enjoying it. I think I always avoid things that I'm a bit, I've not done that before. I don't really want to do it. If it's my choice, I'm going to choose not to do it. But I thought I'd push myself and go out of my comfort zone a bit. And I'm glad I did, because, now I can do that. That's another skill that's been added.
Was that a fully functioning e-commerce page then? So, oh, blimey.
Yeah, so I didn't buy my own like web. When you have to buy the
the domain?
Yeah, I didn't buy my own domain. It was just off of a free website building thing. But yeah, the website's fully functioning. You can still go on it now and use it. Yeah. The only thing I didn't set up obviously is like proper payment. So you can't actually buy things on that, because obviously it's not real. But yeah, it's fully functioning. Everything on there works. And that was awesome, because it has to be, like the industry, it has to be real and ready. Yeah. So yeah, there's a lot of things that then I didn't realise, because I was like, I could just do a little mock-up, it's fine. And then obviously you've got to
what's happening with you kind of work wise? Like what's your plan now?
Yeah. Well, I want to be a print designer, and I think a lot of my classmates have already got jobs. They're already going straight out into the world, and the way my brain works is very, very differently, I think. So I have ADHD, and it already takes a lot for me to fully focus on a project and finish it. And it can take a lot out of me. And I do go through phases where I can be really, really creative, and then I just kind of crash. And this is probably that FMP was like the biggest thing I've ever done. And the first time I've been able to fully push myself and manage to focus for a really long period of time. I did end up getting medication to help me as well through it. And now I'm just having that little break for myself. I'm just taking this breathe to just sit and be happy and, just play around with creativity myself. And then I have been looking at jobs, I have been saving lots of different things, but I've just quit my part-time job as well, so I can then fully focus and go straight into the industry. But I'm planning on sending out applications and things towards the end of August. So I'm having quite a nice long
summer. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no rush.
But because I enjoy print design so much, I think it's not gonna be stressful, I don't think. I think, there'll be some kind of adjustments, some little things here and there, but I enjoy it so much that it's not bad. Even doing my FMP, obviously you have stress of deadlines, but I still really enjoyed the work. I still loved all the designing parts. There were the things I didn't like as much, like some bits of the website and things like that, but the main part of it, I was still having fun. So just knowing from that, going into a job, I'm not too worried. I know that that's what I want to do now, from being at university and experiencing all the different aspects of the industry. I'm quite confident that I know what I want to do now. So when it comes to it, it's quite exciting.
And in terms of your development over the 3 years, how would you say, what's helped you, and how have you progressed, do you reckon, like since that day one as a fresher, not knowing what the hell you were about to do?
Yeah, I've come a very, very long way. I didn't know how to do anything. All I ever did, I hadn't even done like art courses in college or in anything like that. All I like to do is just doodle on pen and paper. That's it. And so I didn't know anything coming to this course. And when I remember actually when I first met Rachel, and it was on like one of the open days, but the last minute one. And I remember looking through the work, and I was like, yeah, no, I can't do that. That's not me. I can't do that at all. And I'll never be able to do that. And she's like, well, they all say that, and this is their work now. But I also, looking at the work, I was like, I love this. I'd love to be able to do this. So I took the chance, and I went on the course. And now, like my FMP, I've done exactly what I said I couldn't do. So every single unit I learned something. And it amazed me because I literally, the whole time, every single unit that we started, I was like, yeah, I can't do that. I'm never going to be able to do that. I did it. So like the teachers on the course are amazing. Like they know exactly how to help you and talk you through it. And with all the industry experience as well, it's just amazing. And I couldn't have asked for a better course, because I reckon if there had been even different teachers or a different course, I might have had a complete different experience. But yeah, no, it's great. I've learned so much, and it's really weird to think about how I was so clueless before. I didn't even own my own laptop when I started. I'd never drawn digitally. I'd never made a video, never used video software. A lot of people on my course had. I'd never used all the Adobe software that we use, like Photoshop, things like that. And most people on the course know at least something. I didn't know anything, but you don't have to. You just need to
No.
be willing to learn it. So yeah.
That's awesome. That's really inspirational to hear that for anyone that's kind of embarking on this course or about to start their FMP. Like, to think that you can start sort of a 3-year course really at the basics really of design, and to come as far as you have. That's awesome.
Yeah, exactly. You only need love for it. You don't need to know anything about it.
Just got to have a love for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what would you if you could give one piece of advice for students about to embark on their FMPs, what would it be? What would you tell them?
Make sure you choose something that you know you're going to enjoy. So don't just choose like a topic or something because it sounds good. Make sure that you're doing something that you're interested in. Make sure that is a part of you, because that will make it so much easier and you'll enjoy it more, and it makes it easier to get that work done. If you're doing something that you don't 100% love, it's going to make it really hard. So yeah, you've just got, even if you're a bit worried, even if that means going out of your comfort zone for some things, like it was the same for me, you're going to be really pleased that you do choose something that you love, because it will just make your life so much easier in the end. And you're going to need to know that anyway. The bits that you're scared about, you're going to need to know it in the future. So got to get it out of the way, and then it'll be fine.
That's awesome. Oh, thank you so much for talking to me today, Erin. It's been lovely to see your face. And good luck with the job hunting, but have an amazing summer. Just chill, take in some sun if it stays around for long enough. Are you going away, or you got any plans?
To Disneyland in Florida for 2 weeks.
No way. That's so cool. You've been there before?
I went there once when I was like 14, so it's been a while, but I have been there before. But there's lots of new stuff now, so it's still really exciting.
Are you going with family or
I'm going with my friend.
With your boyfriend?
Yeah.
Oh, that's super cute. Right, well, I'll look out for your Minnie Mouse ears and Cinderella Castle photos.
Nice.
But yeah, well, have a top time, and I'll catch up with you soon.
Cool. Thank you.
Bye.